Failure is not something you go looking for. It finds you. And when it does, it doesn't knock politely. It breaks the door, throws you on the ground, and asks one question: will you get up or stay down? Many people think failure means they are not good enough, that something is wrong with them. But I learned something early in my life. Failure does not visit the weak. Failure chooses people who have the potential to fight, to rise, to build. It chose me again and again, and I didn't know it then, but it was shaping me for battles most people will never face. I remember standing in front of classrooms as a young man, unable to get into universities, unable to convince anyone I had value. When you fail so much, you start thinking maybe everyone else is right, and you are wrong about yourself. But what if they're not right? What if failure is not a sign you are broken, but a sign you are being tested for a level others will never reach? Life does not punish you. Life recruits you. It is preparing you to be someone who can take hits and still walk forward. Someone who can hear the laughter, feel the humiliation, and still say, I am not finished. When I applied for jobs after graduation, every door closed. Even the simplest job said no. KFC came to my city. 24 people applied, 23 got accepted, and I was the only one rejected. My friends laughed. My relatives shook their heads. Many people thought destiny had humiliated me. But destiny doesn't humiliate you, it trains you. Every rejection was sharpening me. Every closed door was teaching me not to wait for permission. When you fail so many times, something powerful happens inside you. You stop being afraid. You stop begging. You start building. Most people fear failure because they think it means they lost. But the truth is the opposite. Failure is the secret entrance to greatness. It is the gym where strength is born. Champions are not created by comfort, they are created by chaos. The world only remembers doers, not talkers. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment, and failure is the fire that forges discipline. So when life hits you, don't collapse and cry thinking you are unlucky. Say thank you. Because failure is choosing you for a greater journey. It is trying to see if you have the heart to continue. Understand this clearly, the world is not unfair. The world is filtering people. It is separating the ones who only want success from the ones who can withstand the price of success. Every time you fall, you are not falling behind. You are being shaped, tested, sharpened. Failure is not your enemy. It is your weapon factory. The question is simple. When failure chooses you, will you run? Or will you earn the right to rise? Rejection is secret fuel. When I speak about rejection, people think I am joking. They say, Jack, you're successful now, so it's easy to talk about failure. But let me tell you something. Before the world ever put my name beside success, it stamped me again and again with the word rejected. I did not wake up chosen. I was pushed away, ignored, underestimated. And each time it happened, I tasted a kind of fire most people run from. But here is the truth. Every no I heard was not an ending. It was fuel. Rejection is not a wall. Rejection is the spark that ignites the unstoppable. When I applied to Harvard 10 times, they rejected me 10 times. Every letter felt like the world telling me, you are not enough. And when you hear that sentence often, you have two options. Believe them, or sharpen yourself until they regret doubting you. Most people stop when they hear no once. They take rejection personally. They decide life is unfair and sit quietly in the corner of their disappointment. But remember this cliché. It is true whether we like it or not. Winners are simply losers who refuse to quit. I didn't stay silent. I didn't bow. I turned every rejection into energy. Even at KFC, when 24 applied and 23 got the job, and I was the only one rejected, I didn't curse fate. I collected that moment like ammunition. I stored the shame, the embarrassment, the doubt in my heart like fuel. Some people beg life to become easier. I built myself to become stronger. Rejection teaches you what comfort never will. Comfort makes you soft. Rejection makes you dangerous. Every time someone says, you can't, you get a chance to reply later with success so loud it becomes unforgettable. The world only respects those who survive storms. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity, and rejection prepares you. It toughens your skin, strengthens your ambition, and humbles your ego. When you stop fearing the word no, the world loses its power over you. Suddenly, you don't chase approval, you chase excellence. You don't depend on permission, you depend on discipline. And discipline, not talent, is what builds empires. People think the door closes when they are rejected, But sometimes life closes a door because you are meant to build your own entrance. Instead of crying when rejected, ask yourself, what must I learn? What must I strengthen? Rejection is life's way of saying you are not ready yet, but you will be if you keep going. Every no I collected became a brick in the foundation of Alibaba. Every laugh, every doubt, every dismissal, they all became part of my story. So do not fear rejection. Chase it. Collect it. Let the world doubt you loudly, so one day your success can silence them permanently. Because the day you stop being afraid of no, you become unstoppable. Pain builds psychological armor. People always ask me, Jack, how do you stay confident after so many failures? They imagine confidence appears suddenly when success arrives. But confidence is not born in celebration. It is born in pain. In my life, pain has been my greatest mentor. Pain teaches discipline when motivation disappears. Pain removes ego, pride, and illusion. Comfort may feel good for a moment, but it quietly destroys ambition. Pain, on the other hand, prepares you for a world that rewards the tough and forgets the fragile. When I was younger, I did not have money, connections, or opportunities. But I had pain. And pain forced me to grow when nothing else could. I remember standing in front of students to teach English. My salary was small, my clothes were simple, my life was humble. Some days my heart felt heavy. I wondered, why can't I succeed like others? Why don't I have the life they have? But slowly I saw something powerful. Every painful day made my mind stronger. Every disappointment made my patience deeper. Every struggle built a layer of armor around me that criticism could not break. There is a saying, smooth seas do not make strong sailors. It is old, but very true. Weak people collapse not because life is unfair, but because they were never trained to handle storms. When life hurts you, most people say, why me? But strong people say, train me. Pain is not punishment, it is preparation. When you feel lost, ignored, or defeated, remind yourself, diamonds are formed under pressure, not comfort. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and success, and pain is what builds that bridge. Look around. People today want easy results, fast success, and instant rewards. They want the trophy without the fight. But life does not work that way. A mind that has never been stretched by difficulty will break at the first sign of struggle. I saw this when I built Alibaba. Many people joined full of excitement, but when problems came, they disappeared. They were talented, but talent is useless without resilience. In business, in life, in dreams, the one who survives pain becomes the one who leads. So when life punches you, don't hide. When the world doubts you, don't collapse. When you feel lost, don't quit. Instead, whisper to yourself, this is my training, because one day the pain you feel today will become the strength someone else admires tomorrow. And while others complain and blame and quit, you will stand strong, because pain has done its work. The world only remembers those who endure, not those who escape. You do not become unstoppable by avoiding pain. You become unstoppable by surviving it. And once pain stops scaring you, there is nothing left in life that can. That is when you truly turn failure into a weapon and yourself into someone the world cannot break. There is something I learned early, and it hurt. Not because it was wrong, but because it was true. Failure does not just test you, it tests everyone around you. When you fall, you don't just lose money or opportunity, you lose people. You see who claps when you rise, but more importantly, who smiles when you fall. Failure is like a storm. It strips away the leaves and shows you which branches are real. Many people will walk beside you when you shine. Few will sit beside you in the dark. This is not a tragedy. This is education. When I started Alibaba, many people called me foolish. Some friends disappeared because they did not want to be associated with a losing idea. Others said they supported me, but in the background they doubted, they gossiped, they waited for me to fail so they could say, I told you. At first it hurt. You wonder, why are they not here? Why do they doubt me? Why can't they believe in me? But then I understood. Success is a celebration, failure is a filter. When life knocks you down, it does not just reveal your character, it reveals theirs. Weak people love you only when you are winning because your victories make them feel comfortable, but your failures remind them of their own fears. So they leave, they criticize, they distance themselves to protect their ego. And you must not hate them. Do not be angry. Failure is doing you a favor. It is cleaning your environment. It is separating those who want to see you rise from those who want to see you small. As the saying goes, not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. Failure proves it. In my journey, the people who stayed during the struggle are the ones who helped build everything. Not because they were the smartest, but because they had loyalty, belief, and resilience. The world thinks success creates loyalty. No, loyalty is created in failure. If someone sees you broken and still stands beside you, they are rare, and rare things are valuable. You don't find these people in good times. You find them in your worst moments. So if someone leaves you when you fail, celebrate it quietly. One less distraction, one less weak mind in your life. Winners do not chase approval, they chase truth. Failure gives you truth. It shows you who is real, who is temporary, who is scared, and who is strong. It teaches you to stop begging people to believe in you. Because when you finally rise, the same people who left will suddenly remember your name. That is how the world works. Failure exposes weak people so you can build your life with strong ones. And when you stand again, not because they supported you, but because you supported yourself, you will understand the greatest gift failure gave you. When people talk about success, they only show the polished surface, the cars, the office, the applause. Nobody wants to show the tears, the humiliation, the nights lying awake wondering if you made a mistake chasing a dream instead of security. But I learned something very early. Your failures are not stains, they are proof. Proof you tried when others hesitated, proof you stood up when others stayed down. Do not hide these scars, reveal them, because the world does not truly admire perfection. It admires those who walk through fire and live to tell about it. The world forgives struggle, but not surrender. When I began, I was not a confident man standing on a big stage. I was a small teacher in a small apartment with a dream too big for my circumstances. My English was self-taught. My confidence was borrowed from hope. My future was uncertain. Many times I felt embarrassed. I was rejected, ignored, laughed at. People said, "Jack, be realistic. Your ideas are too crazy." But every insult, every doubt, every failure became a piece of my story. And that story did not weaken me. It armed me. One day when I started Alibaba, investors refused me. They said China could not build global technology. They said I did not have the skill, the degree, the pedigree. I had nothing to impress them except a history of not giving up, and that was enough. Because your past pain can become your future authority. People do not follow those who pretend to be invincible. They follow those who fell, bled, learned, and still moved forward. A person who hides their struggle looks fragile. A person who owns their struggle looks unbreakable. There is an old saying, every scar tells a story of survival. You do not earn respect by hiding your battles. You earn it by embracing them. When you share how many times you failed, you do not look weak, you look fearless. Because the one thing the world respects more than success is the courage to chase it despite suffering. Everyone loves the hero after victory. But true leaders are visible even in their downfall. Why? Because they refuse to disappear. So tell your story. Speak your failures loudly. Use your setbacks like ammunition, not excuses. Your wounds are not shame, they are identity. Your struggle is not weakness, it is branding. When people say, "How did you succeed?" you will not say, "I was lucky." You will say, "I survived, I learned, I turned failure into my weapon." And that story, your story, will make you unstoppable. Do not try to look perfect, try to look real, because perfection inspires nobody. But survival, that changes lives. Remember always, the world does not follow the man who never fell. It follows the man who rose again and again and again. And that man becomes a legend, not because he avoided failure, but because he mastered it. Convert anger into discipline. People often tell me, "Jack, you seem calm, peaceful, always positive." They see the stage version of me, smiling, soft-spoken, optimistic. But they do not see the fire that built all this. They do not see the days when rejection felt like an attack, when doubt felt like poison, when humiliation felt like a knife. I am a kind person by nature, but do not mistake kindness for softness. I felt anger many times. Anger that the world didn't believe in me. Anger at being underestimated, dismissed, forgotten. But here is the difference. I did not explode outward. I burned inward. I did not waste anger on complaining. I converted it into fuel. When life kicks you, anger is natural. The world teaches you, stay calm. Don't feel upset, just smile. But I will tell you a truth. Few people admit anger can be a gift. Anger is energy. Anger means you care. Anger means you refuse to accept the life others expect for you. But raw anger destroys. Disciplined anger builds empires. When I first faced rejection after rejection, I didn't scream, I didn't fight people, I fought my excuses, I woke earlier, I studied harder, I trained my mind like a soldier, not because I was naturally strong, but because I refused to give those who doubted me the satisfaction of being right. There is a famous saying, discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. Every morning you wake up angry at life but do nothing. Regret grows heavier inside you. But every morning you use that anger to build habits, to focus, to push. Discipline grows. And discipline is the bridge between dreams and accomplishment. Do not let pain make you bitter. Let it make you better. When I was building Alibaba, there were days we had no money, no support, no certainty. I would feel frustrated, angry at how slow things moved. But instead of complaining, I told myself, get up, work harder, learn more, push again. Weak people waste anger by blaming others. Strong people transform anger into commitment. They say, I will show them. They say, I deserve more than this. They say, watch me. But they don't say it loudly. They say it in silence through action. Complaining is noise. Building is proof. I have never seen a truly successful person who did not, at some point, turn anger into a relentless work ethic. Because when emotion drives effort, effort becomes unstoppable. So do not fear your anger. Channel it, shape it, turn it into discipline so strong that excuses have no room to live. Success is not born from happiness. It is born from hunger. And hunger, when guided by discipline, becomes power. When people doubt you, when circumstances frustrate you, when life seems unfair, don't explode, transform. The world does not bow to those who shout. It bows to those who work while others talk. Remember, the most dangerous person is not the one who is angry. It is the one who has learned to control it, direct it, and use it for greatness. That person becomes unstoppable. Clarity. The world owes you nothing. Build your own door. You know, people always ask me, Jack, what was the most painful part of your journey? Was it being rejected by Harvard 10 times? Or being turned down by 30 jobs, even KFC? No. The real pain was realizing something most people run from. The world does not owe you a yes. Let me tell you a truth today, and maybe it will sting. If you wait for opportunity, you are already late. When I was young, I thought success meant being accepted. Good school, good job, somebody picks you, someone opens the door. But life taught me the opposite. Every door I knocked on said, not you. Every room I tried to enter said, you don't belong. And then one day, I stopped asking to enter. I said, if there is no door for me, I will build one. That decision changed everything. You cannot control who rejects you, but you can control what you do next. Some people cry when life pushes them. Others say, push harder. I will not break, I will grow. When you believe the world owes you opportunity, you become a beggar. When you understand the world owes you nothing, you become a creator, a builder, a leader. Success is not a gift. Success is a decision. And every morning you have two choices. Complain about your life or create a new one. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for support. Do not wait for perfect timing. There is none. You are not here to fit in. You are here to stand out, break rules, and build what others fear. So remember this, you were not rejected. You were redirected to your own path. And your path is the one worth walking. Stop waiting to be chosen. Choose yourself. Because when the world says no, you don't sit, you stand, you learn, and you say, watch me build the door you refuse to open. The pressure you feel today will become your power tomorrow. People think success is about talent, about being gifted, smart, lucky. But let me tell you something. Very honestly, life does not reward the most talented. It rewards the most resilient. When I started my journey, I was not the smartest. I could not code. I could not raise money. People laughed when I spoke English. Investors laughed when I explained my ideas. But you know what pain did? It trained me. Pressure is not your enemy. Pressure is the gym for your mind. Everybody wants success, but not everyone wants the weight that comes with it. They want muscles without lifting. They want confidence without being embarrassed. They want a victory without losses. Impossible. You must go through the fire to become fireproof. When the world pushed me, I learned how to stand. When the world doubted me, I learned how to believe in myself louder. When life broke me, I rebuilt, stronger, sharper, unstoppable. Remember this, diamonds are born under pressure, not comfort. So if today you feel stressed, if you feel tired, if life feels heavy, smile. It means you are being shaped. It means you're in the process. It means you are not weak. The world testing your potential. Greatness has a secret, and no book teaches it. You cannot grow without pressure. You cannot evolve without struggle. You cannot win without pain. Everyone says they want success, but only a few stay when it gets difficult. Be one of the few, because one day when you rise, the same pressure that tried to break you will become the reason people admire you. They will say, "Wow, how did you become so strong?" And you will smile and say, "Because life put weight on me and I chose to lift it." People admire success, but they forget the 1,000 silent battles behind it. When Thomas Edison was asked how he handled 1,000 failures, he didn't say it was painful. He said, "I discovered 1,000 ways that didn't work." This is not a cute quote. This is a weapon mindset. Most people fail once, and they cry like the world owes them victory. They quit not because the path is hard, but because their ego is weak. They think struggle means stop, but struggle means you are close. Edison wasn't special because he was a genius. He was special because he refused to surrender. Every rejection, every explosion, every broken prototype was fuel to continue. You must build that same cruelty with yourself. When you fail, you don't say, "Why me?" You say, "Good. This means I'm learning the way winners learn." People who love comfort admire success from a distance. People who love pressure build success with their bare hands. You know why legends become legends? Not because they were chosen, because they chose not to stop. If you want your life to change, copy the part of Edison no one claps for. The part where he suffered quietly, failed repeatedly, and kept going like a madman who believed he already saw the future. And one day when your light finally turns on, everyone will call you brilliant. But only you will know the truth. You didn't succeed because you were brilliant. You succeeded because you refused to die. The world will try to humiliate you. Let it. In life, you will not only fail, you will be laughed at, mocked, underestimated. People will look at you like you are foolish for dreaming beyond your situation. Do not hate them. Use them. Every time someone doubted me, every time a teacher said not smart enough, every time a company rejected me, I took those words and carved them into my ambition. People think humiliation destroys you. No, humiliation reveals you. It shows whether you are made of ego or steel. Weak minds break when they are embarrassed. Strong minds sharpen. They whisper to themselves, "Laugh now. Watch me later." Do not respond with anger. Anger wastes energy. Do not explain yourself. The world does not listen to explanations, only to results. Winners don't fight with words. We fight with outcomes. Remember this. A lion does not roar at every dog that barks. Let them talk. Let them gossip. Let them predict your failure. They are giving you free motivation, and they don't even know it. When someone humiliates you, you have two choices: break or build a version of yourself they can never touch again. When they laugh at you today, you say nothing. You just keep working. And when you rise, you don't go back to prove them wrong. Your success will embarrass them louder than revenge ever could. Rise with strategic ruthlessness. People think success is about being kind, smiling at everyone, and being soft-hearted. I tell you a truth that most motivational speakers hide because it makes the audience uncomfortable. You cannot build a strong life surrounded by weak minds. When I started my journey, I believed I could bring everyone with me. Friends who had big dreams but never woke up early. People who loved talking about success more than working for it. Relatives who offered advice but never risked anything themselves. I tried to carry them. Do you know what happened? They didn't move forward. They pulled me backward. Sometimes kindness is not giving people a chance. Sometimes kindness is letting them keep their comfort while you rise beyond them. If you want to go from average to exceptional, you must accept something painful. You will outgrow people. Not because you think you are better, but because you refuse to stay where life placed you. There is a difference between being humble and being weak. There is a difference between being compassionate and being controlled. I learned this while building Alibaba. People laughed at us, ignored us, doubted us. Some team members complained and left when things got hard. Some were shocked when I said, "If you are not built for this mission, step aside." I was not angry, I was focused. A farmer cannot plant seeds in dead soil and expect crops. You cannot plant your future in people who fear growth. To rise, you must make strategic choices. Sometimes you must say no when your heart wants to say yes. Sometimes you must walk alone when your soul craves company. Sometimes you must protect your dream from those who only understand limits. Do not hate the people you leave behind. Wish them peace and move forward. Winning does not come from stepping on others. Winning comes from not allowing anyone to step on your vision. You do not need to fight people. You need to remove their influence. True strength is silent, firm, and steady. It is not cruel, but it is unshakable and disciplined. Be gentle with the world, yes, but be ruthless with your destiny, because the moment you try to please everyone, you sacrifice the future meant only for the few who dare to commit fully. And remember, success demands loyalty, not to others, but to your mission. Protect your mind. Protect your focus. Protect your ambition. Everyone cannot go where you are going. And that is exactly why you must go. Turn failure into authority. When people look at success, they see the finish line. The cars, the applause, the speeches, the confidence. They rarely see the battlefield underneath it. But let me tell you something uncomfortable and powerful. The world does not follow winners because they are perfect. The world follows winners because they survived what others fear. Failure is not a stain on your reputation. It is the foundation of your authority. Nobody trusts the man who never bleeds. People trust the one who took punches, stood up, and still moved forward. I failed in school. I failed in business. I got rejected from jobs, universities, investors. Almost every room told me no. At that time, I thought those failures were trying to destroy me. Now I understand they were trying to shape me. When life breaks you, it is not ending you. It is preparing you to speak from a place others cannot imagine. When you talk about success after comfort, nobody listens. But when you talk about success after humiliation and setbacks, people feel your truth. Think about this. Who gives the best advice? The person who never fell, or the one who crawled out of darkness? Who commands respect? The one who never risked anything, or the one who risked everything and rebuilt from nothing? Authority is not given. Authority is earned through scars. Success without failure creates ego. Success after failure creates wisdom, empathy, and power. When you are not afraid to lose anymore, the world becomes afraid to block you, because a man who has survived the worst has nothing left to fear. One day someone will say, "You're lucky." Smile. Do not argue, because they don't see the nights you cried, the mornings you doubted yourself, the battles you fought silently. They only see the mountain, not the climb. They only see the sword, not the fire that forged it. When you learn to turn every failure into a lesson, every rejection into energy, every setback into strategy, you become untouchable. Your past becomes your weapon. Your pain becomes your proof. Your journey becomes your authority. And mark my words, the moment failure stops hurting you, you stop being controlled by life, and life starts being controlled by. Do not run from failure. Stand in it. Learn from it. Rise above it. Then speak with the strength only earned through surviving storms. This is how you turn failure into power. This is how you turn struggle into respect. This is how you turn doubt into destiny. And when you walk on stage one day or stand tall in your own life, people won't just see your success. They will feel your story, and they will listen, because you earned every word with your battle scars. Failure was never your enemy. Failure was your training. Failure was your weapon. Now go and use it.